Donald Trump, who tried to overthrow the results of the 2020 presidential election and inspired a deadly riot at the Capitol in a desperate attempt to keep himself in power, announced he is running again for president in 2024. "I am announcing my candidacy for President of the United States," Trump, 76, said, flanked by massive American flags, at his Mar-a-Lago club and home in Palm Beach, Florida. The announcement and official filing comes just a week after the 2022 midterm elections, which saw a lackluster performance from Trump-backed Republican candidates in key Senate races and competitive House elections. As a result, Democrats were able to retain control of the Senate. "America's comeback starts right now," Trump said, claiming, "Your country is being destroyed before your eyes." The dark vision harkened back to Trump's inauguration speech of a country suffering American carnage and in need of him to fix it. Trump running sets up a potential rematch against President Joe Biden, who will turn 80 on Sunday and says he intends to run for re-election in 2024. Exit polls showed inflation to be the top issue with midterm election voters overall. They said they trusted Republicans more on the issue than Democrats by a wide margin. And the electorate was nearly three-quarters white, reversing a decades-long trend of a decline in white voters as a share of the midterm electorate. And yet, Republicans underachieved and fingers are being pointed in Trump's direction, even from within his own party. Anger over the Supreme Court's ruling overturning Roe v. Wade, which made abortion legal in this country, buoyed Democrats in these elections. But voters also sent a message that they didn't want extremes, rejecting Trump candidates up and down the ballot, who peddled his baseless election lies. Republicans lost in competitive Senate races in purple states, like Pennsylvania, New Hampshire, Arizona, and Nevada. Democrats could further expand their majority with a runoff election 3 weeks from now in Georgia, with yet another Trump endorsee who has struggled mightily. For the House, Republicans are on the precipice of control, but by a far smaller majority than they were hoping for, likely hampering their ability to pass legislation next year. Of the 64 House race contests the Cook Political Report rated as toss-ups or leaning toward one party or the other, Trump endorsed in 21. Only 7 have won. It was even worse for Trump candidates in the most competitive races. Of the 36 toss-up races, Trump backed 9 candidates. Only 1 has won. And yet, Trump is launching another run for president and falsely claiming his candidates did well, despite the evidence that his brand and his style of politics have proven radioactive in competitive states and districts for multiple election cycles in a row now. Trump's move shows a degree of vulnerability and effort to freeze out the GOP presidential field and force Republican elected officials to get off the sidelines and endorse him. He also doesn't want to give any oxygen to any potential rivals, who may be sensing a chance, especially someone like Florida Republican government Ron DeSantis. Many in the party have begun to openly question whether it's a good idea to continue to hitch their wagon to the former president, especially with Florida government Ron DeSantis waiting in the wings. DeSantis easily won re-election as Florida's governor last week. He's a staunch conservative and landed in controversy for flying migrants from Texas to Martha's Vineyard and other liberal cities and enclaves, is widely seen as a more disciplined version of Trump. The Rupert Murdoch-owned New York Post, which turned on Trump during the January 6 congressional committee hearings revelations, dubbed DeSantis to future and Trump Trumpty Dumpty, who couldn't build a wall and had a great fall.